Testing, testing, testing. Good morning, grasshoppers. Fresh out of the car from Massachusetts. Horrible result, but a great time. Got to meet up with MD Knight. Totally awesome dude. Amazingly brilliant fellow. We have a few things in common. But all in all, what happened to the podcast? Wait just a moment here. Are we missing MooBot? I really want to thank Logic for subbing in yesterday for the stream. I was able to do a lesson. Music seems to be a little loud. I really do have to work on my Nimzo Indian just a wee bit. All right, we're going back to this one. We are going to rewrite the book. Oh, the Kasparov variation. Got it. Trying to protect your soul. And we're back. Good morning, grasshoppers. All right, we're back. What do I want to do with this fellow? I'm almost feeling like capturing, but I'm not going to do it. It is good to be back. Now we're filling out. We're up to 10, I believe, in the tournament. Siddharthan Anandan. So what do we want to do here? I faded for a moment there. I just got out of the car. Whoa. Dudovich. I'm not interested in sacrificing a pawn just yet. Wasn't that interesting? Bishop takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, pawn takes. King caught in center, pawn in the lurch. I think that's all forced. My opponent no longer has the two bishops. Good morning. Thank you for following Rorschach. They killed the comedian. The comedian's dead. So we took, they took, I take. Herein lies the tale, unfortunately. Why did my opponent leave the game? Oh, he's streaming. The battle of the streamers. Uh-oh. His stream ended. Oops. I accidentally sacked a knight for 2 pawns. What? You have queen takes g5. I hung a knight. You can't resign if I hang a knight. What's up with that, folks? I was planning on dancing like crazy to get... Oops, not that one. Get my material back. Does it let me draw an illegal line? No, it won't let me draw an illegal line. I noticed when I stream on cheese.com, they let me draw illegal lines, like I can draw a line to C7. Is that weird or what? Like the arrows should conform to the, Let's take out one of these earbuds so that I can hear you. Isn't that crazy? My opponent was not paying attention to the lateral movement of the queen, but that is a youthful thing. A very, very youthful thing. Are we back to the blitz? I forgot that I was back to the blitz. I forgot that I was even under 2200 in blitz. I don't know which is stranger. I wanted to put an AMA in my thing, but I think AMA is a category. I don't know about anything, though. Anything is like, as I told MD Knight, or Dr. Knight, as I'll refer to him now, because he may or may not have confirmed that he actually is a doctor. I need to have regularly scheduled lessons with chatters online. I think when you reach the level that they've reached, for example, MD Knight and Pegasus have gifted over 50 subs. The top two all-time streamers should definitely be co-collaborators in the stream. What do you think? Logic has already played 2 games. Why is he not streaming? Logic, you should be streaming, buddy. Or if you're not streaming, you should at least be in my chat. Where is everybody? Conta de Luna is here. Good morning. I do want to call you by your first name. I actually didn't get a chance to ask Dr. Knight about that, as I got to have dinner with MD Knight in Massachusetts. Second successful chatter meetup. Pretty cool. Conta de Luna was the first. Good morning, Logic. You are here. Why aren't you streaming, buddy? Oh, you know what? I think my list is just a little slow, or it's not working. So what do I need to do to this guy? Migrate now? Commence migration. I'm not sure that was what you really wanted to do, sir. Okay, maybe it was what you wanted to do. Check, takes, check, takes, check, takes. How do I get my knight back into the action fastest? This way. What in the world is going on? Something seems awry. It takes. And now what? I have to take the first one. Everyone else is connected. cannot bode well. I believe that Conta de Luna is just contributing to the theme, the stream, trying to improve my rating. Too tired to stream? No such thing. MD Knight reminded me of having 102 fever and I was still streaming. And he gave me a lot of credit for that, but at the same time, he's like, dude, take care of yourself. Over the holidays, 102 fever, not going to stop me. Tired, not a problem. You have to just power through, sir, power through. But I do thank you for covering for me yesterday. You did great. I didn't really look at yesterday's attendance now that I think about it. I was hoping that we did okay. We did very okay. 15 on both days. Excellent. And there was a message from someone about Royal Hand. But honestly, this line is a popular kids line. I know Royal Hand is a kid. So this is all theory. And then, right, this is all theory. And then white loses. Literally, white loses in this position. I don't know if, like, hold on here. This is where the game starts, by the way, because everybody knows all of those moves beforehand. 21 average semi-pawn loss. Yeah, maybe, because white literally blunders the game away. Thank you. I looked at all these games, I mean, and now we're facing mate. That staved it off a little bit. And then they played a terrible move, right? How are we supposed to mate? King h2 mate is now avoidable. I think if they were cheating, they would have at least had played queen h5. I don't know. Not up to me, you know? Oh yeah, let's just do that. I don't know if I saw that game. I didn't get that. I didn't get to the losses. But I mean, this one too. I also looked at this one. Royal Hand versus Cyberscribe. Basically, black. I don't know why black is so highly rated. Because literally, all white did was take over the d5 square. And then black took a piece. Black hung a piece. And it's possible they could hang more pieces here. Believe it or not. I think they could actually hang more pieces here. So right now, white hasn't done anything at all unusual. They defend their pawn. They brought a rook. This is definitely a kid. And then black got skewered. So those two wins. Now, if I go by the losses, let's take a look at the losses. Logic. So far, nothing you can't get from an opening book, or maybe even seeing Bobby Fischer's games. Yes. This used to be one of my favorite lines. This looks like, I don't know what player he's following. But that's not such a great move. Okay. I think you've made a great play here with this, by the way. You made a really great play with h5. h4 is a perfectly normal move. So far, what is this? Where did we start out here? So they had 2 minutes and 19 seconds as white. Wow, that's a long time. Although because I know that it's a kid, it is also possible that they just got called away. He has been in the tournaments before, and he's also timed out then. I've seen him just... He doesn't know how to defend. So you've got two major threats here. You've got bishop takes h4, and you have knight takes e5. And he probably doesn't want the rook to come in either. And you're threatening mate. I don't know, logic. Because it's, I believe it's one of the student accounts at Columbia Grammar. Because he has appeared in our camps. Let's take a look at his profile. But I mean, this is a typical thing. If you play, this is why I don't play theory against kids. In general, I don't play theory, but I will play theory. Let's take a look at his history. Yeah. Darth Vader's roommate. What a great name. What a great name. Ah, and he played 3 months ago. He played the martial attack as well. In fact, another 12-move game. So either A, people should not play the white side of the martial attack against kids. Or what? So this is Blitz, 964. What is his rating now? Oh, yesterday was Rapid, so that's a totally different rating system. Black resigned, white is victorious. Oh no, he lost to the... So he lost to non-theory again. Did he not see that this is okay? I don't know if he saw that this was okay. Anyway, getting back to our community randomness. What was the other one? He had 2 losses. The one to you, that was a difficult position. I don't necessarily know that he walked away, but I have definitely remember when I had players playing a long time ago Logic, I remember trying to get them on the ICC. They would be on the tablet, and they would just literally walk away from the tablet, or the tablet would be taken away from them because they weren't listening to their parents. That's also a possibility. But I'm not defending him just yet. I want to see the other one. One more strike. I only looked at the 2 wins. Basically, the 2 wins that I saw, oh, he lost 3 games. Oh, this must have been what's his name was referring to with the blunder. I could see the temptation of the short diagonal for a younger player. Yeah, Jail and Amarato. I mean, it really doesn't hurt to report him because I don't think it's going to come up with anything, honestly. Well, this is very martial-esque, though, you have to admit. This particular attack by Black, if I look at it from his perspective. Yeah. No, this is definitely a pattern play, and that's why he played for the... He's not... Like, he doesn't have any theory here. The E takes F4 makes sense. He sees coming in, and he got into trouble. So yeah, he should lose that one. And the last one. So this is against Jail and Amarato himself. This time royal hand is white. Ah, the weakness of knight c3. So by the way, d4 loses a piece to pawn takes pawn, knight takes pawn, knight takes knight, c5, and c4. So Jail and Amarato did not win a piece in this deal. Those of you that want to see it on the board. Doesn't lose a piece, huh? It does not lose a piece? I guess not. What happened here? Oh, that's the end of the line, sorry. So d4, Jail and Amarato is not playing so well. And also, if you get that mindset that you think someone's cheating, it's very difficult to play well against them. I don't believe in that mindset at all. I talked about this last night with MD Knight. It's like once you think that something's going on, everything that you think from then on is going to justify it. Like you can't get that out of your head. And here, yeah, this knight is poorly placed. He needs to be able to play knight on b to d2. They did find the same idea. He did find the same idea from another one, from the other line. And here he's, I think this is Capablanca's maneuver. He is going to try to extract that bishop this way. Except there is no extracting the bishop. And this was really good on Jail and Amarato's part. It's really brutal, like literally. It's all over but the shouting. It's very cruel. And that was even more of a killer. I think if I were an adult, I might actually resign here. But he plays on. Yeah. The first two guys just lost. And they want to blame it on cheating. That's fine. The first two guys, I mean, what about his first opponent? We didn't look at Chili. Oh, there you go. Chili Chap's first opponent was Logic. We're very lucky, right? I met up with MD Knight in real life last night in Massachusetts. And he is a doctor. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not at liberty to say anything else because even in the stream, I had asked him a couple of times. I started calling him Dr. Knight. Now I've confirmed my suspicion. So Conte de Luna, MD Knight. Next stop, Toronto. Toronto's a lot easier to get to than Helsinki or New Zealand. That's for sure. Especially now that the pandemic is over. Black resigned, white is victorious. Well, this bishop is actually quite horrid. If we can ever blockade. And the blockade has been lifted. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. It's not just the rook, but nicely done, sir. If you don't mind. I don't know if there's a chess event in Toronto that we can do. I don't know. Or whatever you would suggest. If there's an occasion to visit Toronto in the near future, I'll figure it out. But I love those. I love these tracks. So the Bulbacar birthday Swiss. Who else did he beat? I want to check the quality of play of the opponent, for example. Oh, this guy. Oh no, he lost to Sagasik. Yeah, he lost to Sagasik. Just German for what? Let's see. Cyberscribe is the only one I haven't checked out. Cyberscribe lost to a 2241 and then lost to Royal Hand. Literally, honestly, that game just did nothing. That's such a strange maneuver. Like, you must know this opening, right? The only two good moves are knight f... Actually, there are three good moves. Knight f6 for the four knights game. Bishop c5 for the lazy man Sicilian. Because we get to play this way. And this is all good. And lastly, d6, of course. These are the only three good moves. And that's it. Yep. Yeah. I do agree that the finish with your game, but that was a very difficult position, and for him to be able to cheat to get that position, it doesn't quite make sense. Not only that, but if he does indeed have a kit account, I don't know how we can check that. If he has a kit account, he doesn't even see the chat box. He does not see this at all over here. Look at Royal Hand's game against Cyberscribe. All right, I'll look at it again. One thing I definitely emphasize, and I'll be doing that again in camp today, is don't move your pieces backwards. Cyberscribe justifiably lost 266 points. That is not his rating. He might be 1,800. He might be 1,700. Robert Peake. He's still a member of the dojo. He hasn't left the dojo. I'm happy that he hasn't left the dojo. I was going to say, did we lose Sagashikt? Let's see. No, we didn't lose Sagashikt. I noticed we went down 10 members. So if anything, this type of talk in the chat, I'm trying to think if I can actually sign in as a kid's account. Hold on here. I just want to turn off the thing just in case I... Is that true? Okay. So here's a kid's account. And if you go to the same thing, right? He's also a member of Master Chess Dojo. First off, they have a smiley face up here to the left. And when they go to a tournament like the Bulbacon Arena, this is exactly what they see. They see none of the chat box. So he wouldn't be affected by the he wouldn't be affected by anybody accusing him of chatting. Unfortunately, I can't notice it anymore because I can't even see the chat. So Royal Hand, who is more than likely a kid. I'll look into it further before I didn't actually see anything that wasn't unusual other than, I guess, your particular instance, but to me it just looked like stock opening knowledge, which is typical of a young player's account, and the opponent just blundering, right? Like literally all he did was develop his bishops, opponent hangs knight, he castles queenside, opponent falls for skewer, resigns. The game was about 4 moves long from the end of the opening theory. And in yours, I'm trying to think if there was anything at all unusual. So it was 9 moves long. The theory was 9 moves long to queen f3. He might have made queen g3 on his own because he could have easily accidentally played e5 earlier. Yeah, no, I've been teaching for way too long. Let's do this one more time. I don't have LHOC. All right, and we're back. Does it have me as streaming? Good. Yeah, it was a good day yesterday. I played absolutely horribly. They should tell people when I update a study. So here's my tournament in a nutshell. Massachusetts. Game 60 review. Change the stream title over here. Yeah, that's why when JL and Amarato wanted to report him, I said, let me look at it, only because I believe we've had him in the camp before. I don't necessarily know that we've had him in the camp, but I definitely have seen it. Like if you check out the tournament after school things, which I do, you'll see that he appears in I don't know what list, but there's definitely going to be a camp tournament this week. I start camp this week. I'm doing camp from 9 to noon, so I won't be streaming, which is a bummer because I have some serious study to do. I studied the Grunfeld just because I wanted to play the Grunfeld and not look like a bozo. And then, guess what? Nobody plays d4 against me. Got 2 e4s in a row for the first 2 rounds. So let's see here. My studies and viewer. So my tournament recap. This is a public study. So the first game, I was black. Immediately I started, you know how it's very strange that over the board play, like I would play this line in a heartbeat, right? E5, and now not knight f6, but bishop g4. Like I looked at bishop g4 over the board forever, and I was just like, what am I going to do on d takes e5, queen takes d1, king takes d1? Who's got bishop f4? He might even have this, that, and he gets out of the center. And I'm like, and I'm not threatening to take the knight, because then it will unite his pawn triangle. So I was like, I just talked myself out of bishop g4, which I've played a gazillion times. Player database. Player database. Yeah, I've played bishop g4 as black 12 times without fail, having won every game. But over the board, I'm looking at it, and I just talked myself out of it. Is that weird, or what? So I played knight f6, and it got very creative. Things got very, very creative. He actually went in for about a 10-minute think here, by the way. He went in for a 10-minute think, which was really worth it, because I showed up to the board 10 minutes late for every game minimum. Minimum 10 minutes late. I showed up every round because I took no equipment with me. In the American tournaments logic, you have to set up your own equipment, and usually black is for preference. So especially since I was black in these games, I didn't want to show up on time. I wanted them to start the clock. It did hurt me in the last round as I played with a slightly funky chess set. Not that it smelled, but... And I was planning on taking, by the way. This is the continuation I was planning on doing, and I was busy analyzing whether or not I could allow this to happen. I was actually just going to play... I was thinking about playing bishop to b4 check. c3, pawn takes. Queen takes d8 might be fatal, because he has pawn takes back after queen takes. What am I going to do here if I did this? I guess you're right. I probably was going to play knight to d5. I don't know if I considered knight to g4 with the idea of going into e3. They also consider knight e4. So in any event, what ended up happening here? I lost to 3 Indian youths. Very strong, very smart, calculating up a storm, and one youthful Chinese girl. Brilliant, but unfortunately she had, along with my last round opponent, I think in the even-numbered rounds, I had 2 overbearing parents. Parents that were going to make chess unhealthy for their kids. This is the first strange move, and it gives me an opportunity to screw up. So I actually wanted to threaten. Which worked. He makes the best move, which is castles. And then I should play bishop d6 now. I was really going to play bishop d6 now. But my idea is to try to cross and cover everything so that I can play knight to c6 and get my king out of the center. So I took, which is not a good move. Then I played an absolutely horrible move, which allows equalizing. For whatever reason, I was overly focused on knight f7, which would simply just run into the counterattack after and then I get to castle. This is something I've always wanted to do. I just wanted a castle. Is that crazy? This was all relatively forced to a certain extent. I mean, I'm playing all of the computer moves too in a real over-the-board tournament, but I never left the board. I didn't have any access And I certainly did not play as well online. If anybody beats me, I will not accuse you of cheating. I will accuse myself first of playing like a moron. The moron factor is strong. I had fun. I had fun in this tournament. So here, yeah, I really did consider A5 for a long time, and it turns out I think that's the best move. But I was so keen on this exact position, and now I'm planning on Rook F8, Rook F2 with the help of check. He forces the issue, everything's going according to plan. And I'm really happy about all of this. And my opponent is now in massive time trouble. He's been thinking for a while. Now these guys get up and leave the board. They get up, leave the board, they walk around, they don't bother focusing on the game at all. And this was, of course, a lemon. If I'd just given myself some room. How hard is it to give myself some room? If he checks, he's going to have to move the knight. But I was concerned about this. In any event, what ended up happening? I ended up chasing the queen to the most lethal of squares, and I should lose. Oh, wow, King F8. Did not consider that cute and easy move. I did request this computer analysis after I left for the next round. Wow, this is a mirror image of my last game, or my, is it my last game? No, not quite. All of my games had similar themes. My third round game. So the way I escape this, I get to capture, and the next thing you know, I'm better. I go from a totally lost position to a totally winning position. Such is life. Check, and then I get my rook to the second rank. And this actually happens. Yes, this happens. H6 is a blunder. Egads. King F8 once again. How hard is it for me to see that move? So meanwhile, H6, I haven't had any sleep, so I'm in trouble. And of course, Bishop G3, as it turns out, is just putting the kibosh on my opponent. Especially if he plays E5. I'm definitely going to get some airtime here. He doesn't have knight D5. I guess it takes away from the quality of the attack. But in a nutshell, so the second game, Kelsey Liu, yeah. I played this game really, really well to a certain extent, and then I got spooked by a good move that she made. I literally got spooked by a good move. So here, all this is fine for the most part, even up to this one, right? So all I really have to do is just take on D4. This is not a thing. There is no threat here. I thought, for whatever reason, I really thought this was a threat. Queen C5, Queen B5. There's just nothing going on here. In any event, I got spooked by this tactic. He plays bishop to G4. You can literally walk there. What are the dates in May? You're talking about Toronto, right? Hometown. You might be from somewhere else. Shoot me those dates. Oh, is that the one? May 7th to the 8th. Yeah, I had to join the Massachusetts Chess Association. Can you imagine? All right, I've got it up. I'm afraid that could be the weekend that I am in. It could be the weekend that I am in Columbus, Ohio. I have to look. But usually Columbus, Ohio is Mother's Day weekend. So, Chess Federation of Canada. Nice. That's why you meant Troy. That's why you meant. All right. It's a deal. I've got it saved. May 6th and 7th. Collinwood. Oh, no, it's just Collingwood. I was thinking of the Dark Shadows. The House of Collins. And then even here, like I'm doing fine even here. All I have to do is just start collecting myself. Right here, I can still get back into the game if I start playing h5, which I played in the game later, or knight a5 right away. Oh, no, I can't play knight a5, apparently. What other move was I going to play? Oh, I also considered a6. But I was just in a little bit of a death spiral. I think I only have enough energy for one game a day for a short period of time. I need to do 6-hour, 8-hour streams more often. And then I hallucinated this one. So I get to attack the bishop. I miscalculated that if he sacks his knight and I get to take it and I attack his rook, at the end of it, I'm taking the bishop. But he has this clever move, which gives him so much material more, and he's got the two bishops. Really? I'm a big fan of the Battle of Trafalgar. So much so that when I lived in New Windsor, New York, when I worked for the U.S. Chess Federation the first time, I was hooked on, even though the apartment was not necessarily so great, I wanted to live in Trafalgar Square in New Windsor, New York. I just felt it was so cool to have an address like that. And here I just walked into it. I didn't have the nerve to put this knight on this square, which is better. Oh, that was ugly. So I played a really good game. I did the same thing in the amateur team championship, by the way. I actually played a really good game and then got spooked and was talked out of a win. In this game, everything goes swimmingly for me as well. So yeah, in this particular position, this is a relative novelty. Of course, he should take the center pawn. This is a true test of his playing ability. He did not choose the right pawn to capture. And here I blundered a little bit. I did not need to really guard this pawn, so I could let the pawn defend itself. So I got up about 1 o'clock in the morning. I took like a 4-hour nap after dinner with MD night. In England, yes. Uh, Linda Diaz is also a big fan of British guys. I didn't get to Trafalgar Square until 2018, now that I think about it. I don't know why I went to Linda Diaz, but I had that impression. So yeah, this is unfortunate. Yeah, I should have just played. I did also consider Bishop A3. I didn't want any pawn breaks to mess me up. And I'm doing quite okay in this whole game, all the way to the bitter end. And then we have the two weaknesses here. I don't need to play that move. I can play almost any move here. Why did I play that move? I do not know. But the game is equal. Good question. So this was a misplaced rook. That's what got me into trouble, I felt. After this, I lose, and then I have a chance later. I play very, very resourcefully here, like you would not believe. I went into a major think here to come up with h3, which caused him to blunder. He should, of course, just take my knight, accept the double pawns. In fact, I was thinking even queen takes might be good. I'm closing my eyes. So here's the deal. When I originally calculated this variation, I planned on taking, but unfortunately the rook remains guarded when they take my rook, so I had to use this check first. And here, I'm going to turn off the engine analysis. And I'm going to cover it in shadow as we talk about. I pin the rook. I guard my pawn. He blocks this. I play queen to f1. This is absolutely perfectly normal. I've survived the worst of this. Then he plays f5, and all I have to do is find a very straightforward move here. Yeah, I'm fading. And then I played this terrible move. Any other move, and I'm fine. There's absolutely nothing to do. Because I played this terrible move, I end up getting mated because I lose control of the back rank. And then I'm mated. Mishandling the major pieces. And then in my last game, I went all out like you would not believe with an anti-Moran. First, he plays the Moran system. The normal conforming way to the Moran system is to play e3. Well, I didn't realize I've played this 3 times. I've played bishop to g5 39 times. Might be time for me to hang up that variation. What is your favorite country to visit, Logic? Now that we're on the subject of England. For a long time in my youth, England was the country of my dreams. Then I got older and I learned a little bit more about politics, and I said, And then Oslo became, and Norway became my favorite place for about 30 years. Basically going there in 1990, and then all throughout the the 2010s, I went about 8 times. 95 is not necessary. Did I not do the computer analysis on this one yet? Yeah, 95 was not necessary. Knight d2 makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I was just very sad in this position. Bishop e2, any normal move would do. I'm closing my eyes on you, so it's almost time to end the stream. And then I decide to throw the kitchen sink at him. So here, I find the best move just because I'm feeling it. I'm finally feeling over the board play like I play it online. I just fling this pawn in, but for the wrong reason. For the totally wrong reason. Remember, it's not the move that is bad, but the idea behind the move. All I have to do here is just attack the pawn and let him weaken his entire structure. I've got this pawn covered. That's what I didn't realize. That was a multi-purpose move. Feeling. And then I actually have a lot of compensation here for this. This was all part of the plan. Instead, I played bishop takes d5, literally almost through. Then I have to sack another pawn. And then I get into this situation here, which is really cool because he gets a little frisky. So I get to capture, and then I get to capture. And I felt very good about this position. So here, queen to d1 is probably better, obviously. Computer doesn't seem to mind e4. But white is better here. And then f5. And I get to play... Oh, I didn't realize this. Where am I going after f takes e4? Oh, am I going across? Yep. So what I did come up with, I came up with b3, which is a really cool move. Now here's the kicker. The kicker is that after this, I cannot take because of bishop e6. This was his plan. Yeah, bishop e6 and I just lose, right? But for me to be able to play into this whole variation with b3, b takes c4, b takes c4, I have to see the next move in the combination, which is this one, rook e5. And literally my pieces are like so active in the center that I am enjoying it. Good morning. Oh, you're tired. I'm closing my eyes. Have a good night, Logic. Jeff, how are you? Yeah, I had to see this move. And then I'm doing very okay in this position. Rook to g3. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this position here. All I really need to do is just get out of this mess one time. Instead, I went about it the wrong way. If only I'd taken a little bit more time on this move. Queen to d4. And he can't capture because I get to take. In any event, I ended up playing rook to e1. And did I ever really climb back? I don't think so. I only agreed to play one more move in this position if he promised to play a very spectacular move. And he saw it, of course. No funny business here, by the way. Absolutely no funny business. He played well. He deserved it. Oh. Wait for me. And then we are going to raid our instructional streamer of the day, Shalakai. These last 4 games in the viewer database were from this weekend. It took me a long time to get settled. It was terrible. Even this game, I played it more or less in my opponent's time trouble. Literally, and then if I had just played, this is the hard move to play. I had to play king takes g6. It prevents rook takes d4 and queen takes d4 because of the 2 different mate threats. So, yeah, king takes free knight. So I end up getting into this endgame where I scarf my opponent's extra pawn, and I'm quite happy about this. This is more or less everything that was played in the last 60 seconds of the game, believe it or not. I threw it away because I wanted to try this way. I think this is the correct move order. Check. Rook to g4, forced that. Otherwise, I was a tempo off. And then he played here, and I went in for a deep think. I went in for a deep, deep think, and I just confirmed that I promote faster than the A pawn. Very important to notice whether or not you promote faster than the A pawn. So check. That was pretty much it. That was pretty much it. I think Jeff is on the West Coast. Drawing a blank now. Yeah? With you, with you, with you, with you. All right, I am so exhausted. I'm going to have to take a nap before camp. Otherwise, I'm going to fall asleep on these kids. Not good. Definitely not good. You're in Canada too, but you're on the west coast of Canada. You're not in Toronto. Logic is near Toronto anyway. Yes, that is what the seasons are in Minnesota. Winter, road construction, and more road construction. Are you? He was just mentioning the Collingwood Chess Festival, May 6th and 7th. If I'm not at the National Elementary Championships, which I have to look up, then I will be at Collingwood Chess Festival. That's my plan. May 6th and 7th. Is it? But you're in Toronto. Got to be just like Manhattan, you know, you just take the subway to the other side of town. You guys, you're so funny. Well, if I'm there for any period of time, I will come to the other side of Toronto. But yeah, I met up with MD Knight last night. We had dinner. He found me while I was playing my games. He had almost forgotten that I said I was going to be there. But he's like looking at me going, wait a minute, I know this guy. I was definitely wearing this attire, this outfit. Literally, this attire, because I was going to drive home last night, but I decided to take a nap. I did. I did not wear the clothes while I took a nap. I slept for 3 or 4 hours, and I drove back to New York City at 1 a.m. And it is time. All right, Rice and the King. He says he is in chess class. That's very cool. Actually, you can see that. I forgot that you could see that. I didn't need to read the mail to you. Cheers.